I am Michelle McPherson, and this is the Michelle McPherson Show, the only internet marketing podcast dedicated to answering your burning business questions. Find us and submit your own questions at FromIdeaToEmpire.com. And now for today's episode. Hey gang, Michelle McPherson here. It's another episode of the Michelle McPherson Show. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about podcasts. So you might know, since you're watching this, that I do a podcast. There's this one. And then I also do another one with Justin Brooke called Marketing Con Queso, where it's kind of he and I going back and forth about marketing topics and giving our opinions, which don't always line up. So I feel like podcasts are a great vehicle to get your message out to an audience. And there's something very different about people reading a blog post and people hearing your tone and inflection and knowing you on a much more intimate level when they can hear your voice. So for that reason, I think that marketing or that podcasts are an important tool in your marketing kit. And I wanted to share with you some of my favorite podcasts that I actually listen to. I've been asked before what I think the best ones are. I don't know about the best, but I'll give you the ones that hold my attention. So on the non-business side of things, I'll get those out of the way first. I have Welcome to Night Vale, which I enjoy listening to with my 7-year-old because it's kind of creepy and spooky and weird, and he likes that. I also listen to Roderick on the Line, which is hysterical because John Roderick, I think, is a male Alaskan counterpart of me. So there's that. I listen to This American Life, good storytelling. I listen to The Moth, same thing, good storytelling. And those are the ones that are purely for enjoyment, I guess, that I would say. On the business side of things, I listen to the Dave Ramsey Show. I consider that to be something that I listen to more on the business side because I really love his model of a call-in Q&A show. And that's one of the things that we do here too with the Michelle McPherson Show is actually take your calls via the SpeakPipe plugin at michellemcpherson.com. You can call in, you can ask a question, and then I can respond to that. So I really love how he does that, and that is where I would like to get eventually, is to where we can do something live like that from time to time. And I think that his way of giving advice and then but being able to put it into actionable nuggets is a really great skill for anybody in information marketing or advice giving or blog post writing kind of businesses like we're in, to make the content that we create actionable and simple in that way so that it is easy for people to grasp onto. So I admire what he does in that area. And so that's a business podcast that I listen to. I also listen to The School of Greatness. That is Lewis Howes, formerly of, how to use how to use LinkedIn to network and, leverage your business fame. He's now branched out into an overall business success kind of brand. I was kind of like, when I heard he was coming out with a podcast, but, when I started listening to it, I actually think that it's one of the best business inspiring motivational Q&A type of interview shows out there because he asks a lot of questions that other folks are afraid to ask, and because he brings in a different kind of guest. So it isn't the normal circle jerk of internet marketing folks all being on each other's shows, and it's just sort of like a self-perpetuating machine in that way. He doesn't always pull guests from that crowd, and I really appreciate that and enjoy his show because of that. I also listen to the Bulletproof Executive Radio I listen to about half of their shows. I think that the show is good. I think that it's a good example of having a few things that are like your principles, like his bulletproof coffee, and like you don't eat this and you do this, and reminding your audience of those principles time and time and time again every single week, or I think that show comes out twice a week. And even when you disagree with your guests, as he does from time to time about certain topics, he doesn't play nice with it. Like, well, I mean, okay, we could both agree to disagree. He's not mean about it by any means, but he sticks to his principles, and he has again, kind of like the Dave Ramsey with those nuggets of things that this is how we do things. And building a brand and building an audience and building a community around those kinds of messages is super powerful. And so I enjoy listening to his show because of that. And then also, health and wellness is a topic that personally interests me. So we got, both sides on that. Let's see what else I've got. Back to Work. Classic Merlin Mann and Dan Benjamin, talking about productivity, communication, organization, fear, anxiety, depression. They actually range topics from very practical kinds of stuff, how to organize your iTunes, to those deeper things that I mentioned. Merlin Mann can get a little bit self-indulgent from time to time, but gosh, I just love Dan Benjamin. And I stopped listening to the show for a while because I was like, Merlin, had enough of you. But I came back because I wanted to listen to Dan. So it's a good show in the end to remind you to focus on the things that are important to you, to stop wasting time with the noise, and get down to what actually produces results in your business. So I do enjoy it for that, but I also enjoy the camaraderie between the two hosts. I listened to James Schramko's Superfast Business podcast. I am a member of James's mastermind, the Silver Circle. Once I decided to take my business from being sort of a one-man band plus an assistant into actually building a full team, that was something that he has done in the past. And so I do believe in getting advice from folks who've been there. And when I decided to expand my team and build out my services business, I did want the advice of somebody who has already built out a large team in a services business. And for that reason, I'm a member of his mastermind. It's been invaluable in helping me grow out that team and deal with all of those HR and hiring and those kinds of decisions over the past year. And I listen to the podcast, of course, so that I can keep an eye on what he's doing, because I think that he's really great at what he does. I also have in here Marketing Con Queso, big surprise, and the Michelle McPherson Show, so that I can check up on my own stuff and make sure that my podcasts are coming through like they should. And it gives another download count into the iTunes store. If you are publishing a podcast yourself, downloads do matter in terms of your ranking in the iTunes store. The other thing that matters when people are searching for a topic, whether your stuff comes up, number one is downloads. So iTunes is going to look at, is your podcast already popular about a topic? And if so, they will put you closer to the top when somebody searches for that keyword. The other thing that they look for, of course, is that keyword that the person has searched for is in your title, your description, of that episode and of your podcast as a whole. So keywords are important as well when you want to rank in the iTunes store, but downloads are good. So subscribe to your own podcast. It's like voting for yourself. If you don't vote for yourself in the election, how can you expect other people to? So I hope that has given you a little bit of insight into how my mind works and what kind of information I like to feed myself every week as I download and listen to those podcasts. And I hope that you are able to find one or two new things to listen to yourself from that list. So if you've got any questions, head on over to michellemcpherson.com, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.